o'clock. Can everybody hear me?
Loud and clear.
Thank you for the thumbs up, Judy. Okay, my clock shows 10 o'clock straight up, so we'll go ahead and get started. I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Appreciate everybody's attendance, taking time out of their busy schedules to do the work that we need to do here on the Board of Community Supervision. Now I'll ask Aura Russell, if she was the board liaison, if she'd please call the roll so we see who we have in attendance.
Good morning. I'm going to call the roll. Terry Bonner.
I'm here.
Candace Brose. Jacqueline Bunn.
Present.
Heath Elliott. Sonia Fillingame. Yes, sir. I got you, sir. Sonia Fillingame. Judy Fitzgerald.
I'm here.
Jimmy Kitchens.
Here.
Nick Norton. Tyrone Oliver.
I'm here.
Steve Queen.
I'm here.
Timothy Ward. All right. Chairman Queen, you do have a quorum.
Okay, thank you very much. Now we'll move and ask General Counsel James Knox if he would provide us an invocation, please.
Let us pray. God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for blessings, and we thank you for the opportunity to serve. We ask that you bless this meeting, bless all those who participate, and give us the grace to change lives day by day. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much for that. I'd like to start off and welcome. We've got two new members. Ms. Bunn, thank you very much for your attendance today and joining us on our board. If there's anything that any of us can do to help you settle in, just let us know, and I'll certainly be glad to do that, but welcome. And I don't think Ms. Boyce indicated she was on, but we also have her joining us as a new member on the board, and welcome her. Hopefully we'll have an opportunity to for her to participate in a meeting and meet her as well. So we'll go ahead and move along to our agenda. We have a proposed agenda that Ms. Russell provided to all the members, and if I could have a motion to accept that agenda.
I move to adopt the agenda.
I believe that was Terry who motioned to approve. Do I have a second? Ms. Fitzgerald who seconded that. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, those are accepted. Thank you. And also you were provided the minutes from our last meeting on June the 17th. And if you've had a chance to review those, and I would entertain a motion to accept those.
Motion to approve.
Mr. Kitchens, thank you very much. Motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Well, that was Sheriff Elliott for a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, those are approved as well. Thank you very much. All right, we'll move on to the commissioner's report. The commissioner advised me that he has a group of graduates at the Public Safety Training Center, so they will be providing their reports from a collective podium there, and that's a great that we've got that class. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to you, Commissioner Neville.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. Good to see you. We do have graduation slated today. We have 10 officers that will be graduating, so we're always excited about that, and we certainly appreciate the board accommodating us in this type of a setting. It's a little bit different, unique, the way we'll be doing it, but I think it'll go just fine. There are a couple individuals that are on the board, and I've not had the opportunity to personally meet. And I want to certainly give my personal welcome to Sheriff Elliott. Always good to see you. I enjoyed our conversation earlier in the week, or I believe it was last week. And also Jimmy Kitchens. Mr. Kitchens, it's nice to make your acquaintance, and I look forward to when we can meet in person. Also, the others I believe I've met. Candace Broche was my boss before coming into her new role over at DHS. So we're excited for her. She's certainly a very, very fine individual. Miss Bunn, congratulations. Good to see you. I want to welcome you in that role. Thank you for the great work that you do, also that you do with us collaboratively. We always appreciate that. And also, Steve Queen, welcome and congratulations. Glad to see you at the helm now, and Tyrone Oliver as the Secretary. We certainly appreciate your service. I just wanted to personally say that. Scott filled in for me last week. It ran 50-50 as to whether he did a better job or not. So I don't know who the tiebreaker is going to be, but he may be up next quarter. I don't know. But anyway, it is good seeing you. I want to start real quick with a budget update. The governor's office has requested a flat budget, no decrease, no increase. We have submitted that budget, but I did not adhere to instructions very well. I'm just being very candid with you. We submitted also a 10% pay increase proposal for our officers. As you know, and it's no different than what Commissioner Oliver and Ward and the sheriff is up against in law enforcement is there are fewer folks wanting to come and wear a badge. And we're starting to see that. Also, our retirement of our sworn staff is actually starting to outpace our non-sworn staff. And that's the first time in, I believe, 4 years. But aside from the retention and the recruitment effort, I just believe strongly our officers are do that. They work long, they work hard, they make a difference. Their cases continue to grow. It's when there's a felony arrest, sometimes that's over for that officer making the arrest. For us, that means we're going to, in all likelihood, have that individual under supervision for 5 years. So it continues to have a stacking effect. And these officers, they're required to have 4 years degrees, and they can easily go elsewhere instead of coming to us. So I think we're missing a grand opportunity. And it's not just in the here and now. I'm looking at our profession 3 to 5 years out. And so that's why we have made that request. I'll certainly keep the board updated along the way. And I would ask your favorable support of that. We have no legislation submitted this session. That's a good thing. I think it'll be like last session. We'll mainly be discussing the budget will be the focus area. I want to let you know we have submitted our strategic plan, and we are in compliance with, number one, the statute that requires us to do so yearly, but also to Office of Planning and Budget. It's been received, and I want to remind you that anytime you want to see our strategic plan, it is on our website. It is outward facing. Any citizen can go and look at our 3 to 5 year strategic plan and see where we are and see the progress on that plan. So I would encourage you to do that. We are in the beginning stages of our annual report. We generally have that done in November, even though it's due in January. We try to keep it as somewhat likely. I've yet to hear anybody say that they're looking forward to reading an annual report from anyone. So we try to keep it Michael version with a lot of pictures and graphs and not a lot of reading. So look forward to having that come out. We've recently had organizational changes, and unfortunately or fortunately, Johnny Natt, our Director of Human Resources, is going to be retiring November 1. We'll give him a separate send-off, but Johnny has done a phenomenal job. He was with DCS at the creation of it. He was one of the individuals that came that was not from probation or parole, and he brought a great balance and perspective But we're going to have someone, I think, that's going to do just as a quality job. And Barbara Neville is transitioning into the director of HR role. I think those that know Barbara know she is more than capable. She is one individual that has held many, many roles that she did not know the technicality of it when she went into it. In every single one of those roles, she excelled. So when you talk about leadership being a transferable skill set, I think she epitomizes that, and I know she will do well. But also with her vacating the director of Misdemeanor Probation Oversight, Tim Lewis is now going into that role. We'll be overseeing that. Tim has been with us for about 3 or 4 years now. He's done a phenomenal job. He oversaw the training for misdemeanor oversight. He's well respected in the private probation industry, but also the municipal probation side of things. And fine individual, and he'll do a great job. We also made a change in our strategic planning and research. Dr. Nick Powell is going to oversee more of our strategic planning. And then you all are familiar with him and the great work that he does, and filling his role and coming in mainly handling data requests and requests for research and also trends and analysis. Maria Stevenson, and she is on the line, and we want to welcome Maria. She will continue to do a phenomenal job. So things are changing, but that's good. I always thought churn is good, new opportunities. So I'm looking at it to just strengthen an already sound and solid organization. As you know, with the pandemic, we continue to operate in challenging times. One thing I'm most proud about DCS is during this time, our work has not diminished or suffered. I give credit to our IT staff who has afforded us the opportunity to do that. And I'm just proud of the way that folks have risen to the occasion and made these changes. And I know we certainly are not the only ones going through this time of change. I know every one of you all are as well, personally and professionally. On a somber note and somewhat of a sad note, I kind of refer this second wave as a 2.0. And unfortunately, in this second wave, we've lost 3 officers. And you don't hear about that. You don't see it on the news about these officers passing. But these 3 officers were dedicated to DCS. They were dedicated to make a difference, and their lives were cut tragically short. In addition to these 3 officers, we also unfortunately had an officer that took their own life, and we want to remember them. So if it is okay with the chair, I would like to offer up a moment of silence for Addison Ford, Scott Howard, Shanika Napier, and Zach Westbury at this time.
Certainly.
Thank you. I know the team and their families appreciate your support, and all of our coworkers. I will let you know in each one of those offices, we immediately launched our peer support team headed up by James Bergman, who responded. All of those officers and staff and impacted individuals have been offered employee assistance program, but they are doing well. They're doing very well. They understand their loss, and they understand that we look at it that when one is happy, we're all happy. When one is sad, we're all sad. And that's the way we are as a team. So thank you again for keeping those families and staff members in your thoughts and prayers. I'm always proud of the work that DCS does. Our numbers continue to trend in the right direction. You can see that on our website with our dashboard as well. That does not mean we're perfect. I've always stated we will never be perfect, but what I've always promised you, we will always do everything we can in pursuing perfection. So I'm proud of the mantra of one officer, one family, one community, and that continues to show. Couldn't be more proud. And to top off and complete my report, wanted to remind you October 6th is the DCS Awards Ceremony. Unfortunately, again, this year it will be virtual, but we had over 150 nominations for awards. And I think that's just as well when folks want to recognize what their peers and colleagues are doing. But we will make sure, if you've not already received information on the award ceremony, we'll make sure that that is sent out to you and you receive that, and hopefully you'll be able to join us. The governor was actually going to be our keynote speaker, but now being that it's virtual, he will be doing a video message. But we certainly appreciate his willingness to recognize our team as well. So with that being said, Mr. Chair, that concludes my report, subject to any questions that I may entertain.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Nell. Does any board member have a question for the commissioner? Okay.
Very well.
I'd like to,
Thank you.
thank you. I would like to go ahead on.
Tim Ward is on the line. He's the private caller.
Okay.
And Tyrone Oliver is unable to join via his phone.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ara. I appreciate that. Appreciate the commissioner's comments and his report and update. And I'd also like to extend my condolences to the loss of those DCS family members and from the entire board. Those are tragic events. But one thing that I can tell you from working on this board and knowing many of the fine members of DCS, they will persevere. So, and they will continue to do their jobs and do it well and make us proud of that and continue to fulfill their mission. I'd also like to extend my congratulations to both Dr. Powell and Maria Stevenson on their new positions, and definitely to Barbara Neville and Tim Lewis, who I've worked closely with and are colleagues and friends over the past several years. No two finer people could fill those roles, and I promise you they'll tackle them with great zeal and effort, and appreciate their willingness to do so. All right, we'll move on to our next committee report, and Patrick Halsey from Field Operations will give us a community supervision report.
Good morning, everyone. A little feedback there. I want to first say welcome to our new board member and to our new board chair, Mr. Queen. So glad to have you all this morning. So good to see you. First, for my report, I want to talk about some of the good work that some of our staff has done. I first want to recognize some of the work from our field division. It's always a pleasure to see that others recognize the great work that our staff do. One officer is our task force officer, Brad Willis. He was attached to the Southeastern Regional Task Force. He received the Superintendent Award of Merit from the Chicago Police Department. Brad was instrumental in supporting a high-profile murder suspect and apprehending a high-profile murder suspect from Chicago. Now, this prestigious award is not usually given to someone outside of the Chicago Police Department, so it's a great honor for him to receive that. Also, we have Task Force Officer Marcus Mosby, who is also attached to the Southeast Regional Fugitive Task Force. He received the U.S. Marshals Director's Award for the work in apprehending an extraordinarily dangerous fugitive as well. The work being conducted by our task force officers can be very challenging and dangerous at times, but they do a great job. And I just want to thank both of those officers and all the officers on our task force for the work that they do. Next, we have CSO Cody Franklin of the Rome Judicial Circuit. He was honored at the Respect for Law Enforcement Luncheon given by the Rome Kiwanis Exchange Noon Optimist and Lions Club in June. This is an annual award that's given to the deserving law enforcement officers within the Rome and Floyd County area. And lastly, I'd like to recognize CSO Danny Brumlow out of the Lookout Mountain Judicial Circuit. He received the Gang Investigator of the Year award from the Georgia Gang Investigators Association. Again, it's an honor to have all of these outstanding officers working as a part of the DCS team, but even better to see them being honored by others outside of DCS. As you know, at DCS, we're always looking for better ways to become more efficient. On August 31st, we deployed our new mobile portal. This is a technology that allows our officers access to their caseloads via their mobile phone. By using the mobile portal, the officers has access to supervisees' data so they can quickly provide them with the necessary resources to address their needs. This also provides officers with a functionality called Supervisee Near Me, which will give them a map of all the supervisees within the area near them. It also has a feature what's called our Talk to Text feature, which allows the officers to speak. This allows more thorough and detailed case notes along with time savings, so they don't have to type in the information. They can just speak the text and it automatically downloads to our case management system. And lastly, I want to update you on a few new chief positions that we have in the field division. Our chiefs are the face of our DCS within our local communities, and it's an honor to be promoted to the chief position. So we have several new chiefs, and they are out of the Enola Circuit, Justin Ursery, out of the Ogeechee Circuit, Jessica Allstat, out of the Alapaha Circuit, Ryan Smith, and out of the Patala Circuit, Perry Price. That chief position is a very demanding position. It's a very honor for the person to be selected for those positions, and we look forward to the work that they're going to be doing in those positions. And for me, that's all I have for the field division. Thank you for your time this morning, and if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them now.
Great, appreciate that report, Patrick. Does any of the board members have any questions for Mr. Halsey? Nope. Very good. Thank you again, Patrick. You too. Okay, up next is Michelle Stanley with Reentry Services. Morning, Michelle.
Good morning, Board Chair and other members of the board. Just a few updates for Reentry Services. We've been invited to present to Oklahoma during their legislative committee session by Representative A.J. Pittman during their interim study as they look at criminal justice reform and reentry, and that will take place on Monday. We have also started a partnership with Concordance Academy out of St. Louis, and we're in the beginning implementing stages of this reentry initiative, which will be a collaborative effort between ourselves as well as GDC from a pre and post-release effort. At the end of last year, with the assistance of WestEd and the National Reentry Resource Center, we implemented a strength-based case management model for our reentry staff to incorporate in their daily interactions. This is a concentrated effort that focuses on an individual's strengths and emphasizes on self-determination. Having utilized this model for roughly about a year, our division has been asked by WestEd as well as the National Reentry Resource Center to create a resource guide for other agencies to consider using when implementing this model. This will be a recorded session that will include questions and answers, and we will do that at the end of this month. Just a few housing updates. We currently have 47 RPH providers, and we roughly placed 1,227 individuals last fiscal year, which gives us an average of about 120 individuals we place monthly. But what I'm proud of is our Thor directory, which we currently have 84 providers. We've increased by 10 new providers since my last report. Just to highlight a few, and what's interesting and exciting about this is areas outside of our metro area. We've been able to bring on Wise Place, which is in Meta, Georgia, and it's going to be an intensive recovery residence place, accepting only males. In Rome, we have William S. Davis Shelter that accepts both men, women, and children, as well as pregnant women. We also have CAT Properties, LLC, located in Twin City, Georgia, and it's a male facility serving mental health level 1 and 2 individuals. Angels in Fight, which is located in Riceville, Georgia, serves men, women, children, as well as pregnant women. Rainbow Community Center, located in Covington, serves men and women and female, as well as pregnant women. Good Neighbor Homeless Shelter, located in Cartersville, serves men and women. We were pleased to be able to bring on so many individuals willing to also serve pregnant females. Just to highlight a few community coordination efforts, the City of Valdosta recently launched the Valdosta On Demand transportation system, thanks to the contributions of our Southern Circuit Senior League Community Coordinator, Kelly Saxton. Ms. Saxton assisted in formulating this partnership with local Valdosta United Way for Ride Valdosta. It's a public on-demand transient service that will allow our individuals to be able to access that for rides to the office as well as to their jobs and other appointments. The United Way started this initiative with purchasing about 500 rides, and these efforts continue through other local community efforts. In Rome, Georgia, our community coordinator, Tiffany Taylor, partnered with the Northwestern Georgia Regional Commission to host a Second Chance Employment and Resource event. And this event was held at the Goodwill Center in Rome, and we hosted roughly 10 employers that provided on-site job interviews and hiring of individuals that showed for that process. Also in Douglas County, Community Coordinator Kara Chateau, held a 2-day resource and employment event. And the first day allowed individuals to come and receive shoes and clothing items to be able to dress for success for employment, and then for them to come back out the next day and meet with a number of employers that we had on site to do on-job interviews and hires. Lastly, a collaboration over in Cobb with our community coordinator, Talisha Allen, partnered with the Department of Public Health for an on-site COVID-19 vaccine clinic. Even though it was an extremely rainy day, the healthcare staff did not allow that to deter them. The vaccination clinic moved forward. 2 nurses graciously administered vaccines to anyone that showed up that wanted to be vaccinated or receive additional information. Mr. Chair, members of the board, that concludes my report. Are there any questions for me?
Thank you, Michelle. Does any of the board members have any questions for Ms. Stanley? No. Michelle, your report always is impressive, very thorough. We appreciate it. Can't imagine the job that you do, but it's a crucial job and one that is essential to fulfill the mission of DCS. And thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll move on to our next report. And Tim Lewis, Director of the Misdemeanor Probation Oversight Unit. You're up, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning. Let me say thank you again for acknowledging this new role. I'm appreciative of it. I'm humbled by it. It's my commitment to continue the good work that Barbara has begun with MPOU. It's a great team, so I'm just hoping to continue what's already been laid out and set forth for us. Currently, with MPOU, we have 74 entities that are currently registered, 51 of which are governmental departments and 23 are private operations. We have 770 registered individuals working with these entities. There are 790 service agreements currently in place. 164 of those are served by governmental departments and 626 of those by private entities. Regarding training, up to this point of the year, we've held 113 virtual training sessions that have been attended by 410 different individuals, with a total attendance of 3,180 participants coming from 64 different entities. We certainly have additional sessions scheduled throughout the end of the year as well. We're currently in the process of proposing board rule revisions and should have those to you for the December meeting after we follow all the administrative procedures that are required. So, Mr. Chairman, that concludes this report, and happy to answer any questions you or other members of the board may have.
Thank you very much, Tim. Does any board member have any questions for Mr. Lewis? Okay, great. Welcome again, Tim. Looking forward to working with you and know you'll do an outstanding job.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, moving on. Ms. Ross couldn't be with us today to provide the Georgia Commission on Family Violence report. And who do we have?
Okay.
There you go. There you are, Ms. Farrell. Welcome. We appreciate you being with us.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and the rest of the DCS board. I'm reporting, as you said, for April Ross, our executive director, who couldn't be with us today because she's traveling. So I'll give you a brief summary of what we've been working on in our different projects in our office. To start, I will discuss the family violence intervention programs. Since our last certification period in July, we have 2 certification periods, one in January and one in July. In July is our smallest one. We currently certified 3 new facilitators as well as 5 new providers, and we had 3 providers to recertify. So that's a good thing, and they're across the state. Our fatality review project, to date, there have been 81 fatal incidents and 111 fatalities in Georgia. Recently, 14 additional fatal incidents were identified, with 15 total fatalities that occurred in years prior to 2021. So these cases will be added to previous year totals, and our data will be updated accordingly. The 2021 report, Family Violence in Georgia, a comparative analysis has been submitted to CJCC for approval. The report analyzes family violence trends in similarly populated counties throughout Georgia. And the key takeaways from this report and recommendations are provided, as well as county-specific data. And also the 2021 Victimization by Gender report is the next project being undertaken by the Family Violence Fatality Review Team. With our Support for Survivors of Murder-Suicide project, the COVID response grant with DBHDD has been expanded. The grant now includes funding to train 40 mental health clinicians in the restorative retelling model. So they will be equipped with skills to conduct individual counseling sessions and support groups for survivors of domestic violence related murder, suicides statewide. And GCFB is pursuing funding opportunities to implement the network and launch murder-suicide support groups beginning in 2022. And once this is launched, this will be the only program of its type in the nation. So that's a very good thing. And GCFB is also applying for continuation funding of our VOCA grant, which funds the Support for Survivors of Murder-Suicide program. And now with our task forces, they're still conducting virtual meetings due to COVID, but we have partnered with the Domestic Abuse Intervention Program in Duluth to hold a virtual training on coordinated community response for task force leaders in December. The 2-day training will be limited to task force members and will assist task forces in planning for 2022 goals, objectives, and activities. And last but certainly not least, our annual conference, it will be November the 8th through the 10th. We were hoping to have it in Jekyll, but that didn't pan out due to COVID. So because of the increase in cases across the state, we have transitioned to a fully virtual conference. It will be the same format, 3 days, the same time slot. So we hope to give our conference attendees the same experience that they would have if it was in person. That concludes my report. If anyone has any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Farrell. Appreciate you being here. Does any board member have any questions for Ms. Farrell? Nope. Thank you again. Appreciate the fine work the commission does. That's another very important mission. Okay, moving on next to old business. I was not notified that there is any old business for us to review or conduct. So we'll close out that agenda item, as well as new business. No new business also on the agenda. So we'll close that agenda item as well. And before we adjourn, I'd just like to give an opportunity if any board member would like to make any comments. I'll give you this opportunity to do that before we adjourn.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to congratulate Tim and Barbara, their position, as well as all the that got promoted, especially Eric Price here in the Patala Circuit. I'm going to do an outstanding job for us. And congratulate Scott Miller on his retirement and wish him well his future retirement day. He's been an outstanding chief down here for us, and I know Perry will continue on with the good work. And thank all of you for all your hard work and everything you do every day.
Thanks, Sheriff Elliott. Appreciate those comments. If there's no one else that has any comments, I'll call the meeting adjourned, and appreciate everyone's attendance. Please stay safe and stay healthy, and reach out to me if there's anything I can do for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.